Hello, everyone, and welcome to Last Man Standing. I am Tyler Mumbles Woodward. I am joined by Callum Bruce. How you doing, mate?
Hey, bud, yourself?
Good, I'm good. And I'm also joined by Dylan Labahiri, as Ollie Davis likes to say.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Right, so we don't normally do this, but in light of the recent releases from WWE, we would like to express our own thoughts on this and get you guys feelings and opinions on this as well. So it literally broke, I would say, about 3 or 4 hours ago. No, not even that. It was about about 3 hours ago that Sean Ross Sapp reported that following release, there has been 6 releases happening throughout the company of WWE. These releases are Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, Lana, Santana Garrett, and Buddy Murphy. Then WWE later on did confirm this themselves. I believe, let me double check. Should already got it here. They then released 5 minutes later, after Sean Ross Sapp reported it, they have come to terms with release of the 6 wrestlers that I've just spoken about. So there's and it was also just SRS has just reported, go to Fightful, go to speak to SRS or anything like that. Follow him on Twitter because he breaks news every single day, pretty much every single minute of every day. He's awesome. Yes, he's released. Aleister Black released a statement on Selena Vega's Twitch that it was to do with budget cuts. Okay, my first initial thought is they have been the most profitable company this year and last year during a pandemic, right? For an entire pandemic, they have made record numbers, and they have the audacity to release these 6 people. Okay, we can probably in a minute we can speculate what is happening, but first of all, Callum, your initial thoughts on these bloody releases.
Well, some of them you could see coming. Take for example, let's say Santana Garrett. She's been with the company for 8 years, and she's only been signed up to a full-time NXT contract for the last 2. But they haven't really done anything with her. She was basically just a name on the list. And you see the other ones like Ruby Riott. What was she doing on the main? What was she done to some great success in WWE? Yes, she had the tag team with Liv, and sooner rather than later, they probably were going to end up being tag team champions because they were realistically the only women's tag team left on the main roster. Aleister Black, there's been rumours for a while that he was considering jumping ship, but I don't know how much of it was true after after Vega left just before Mania. Buddy, that's another strange one as well. He's been with the company for near enough 8 years. He's been a tag team champion in developmental and on the main roster. Yeah. He was a cruiserweight champion as well. And there was rumors not that long ago that they were very much considering sending him back down to NXT and having a good go, either re-establishing his tag team with
Wesley Blake,
or having him as a single star. And then the big shocker is Braun.
Yeah,
He's he was your monster. It's like he could work face, he could work heel.
Yeah.
Some better than others, and he's a former Universal Champion. Yes, he had a poor 2020, mostly because of the bullshit that happened between Mania and SummerSlam last year dealing with Bray Wyatt, but that's nothing to do with them.
Yeah. And then Dylan, your thoughts, mate.
To be honest, guys, I'm not really shocked by this. At the end of the day, like Callum had said, a lot of these stars, they weren't doing much in the company, you know what I mean? And sometimes you just gotta let go dead weight. The good thing about having all these companies now in wrestling, there's AEW, there's Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan. They're being released, and now they can go perform their craft elsewhere, get more publicity, and then maybe in the future come back to WWE. Because a lot, if we're gonna be honest, a lot of wrestlers, their dream is to work for WWE, because what? They're the most well-known wrestling company in the world. So, hey, it is what it is. The only shock to me is gonna have to be Braun, because he was just in the title picture a month ago at Backlash. He was. It is what it is. But names like Lana, not really surprised. You know what I mean? Buddy Murphy, shocked. I mean, I'm not shocked, but more surprised. You know what I mean? He hasn't done much since the Mysterios, and I think he was a part of 2 weeks with Seth Rollins. I'm not really surprised. You know what I mean? I'm just glad that this wasn't during the middle of the pandemic. That's it.
Hey, okay, that's a fair enough point. Okay, my initial thoughts was, 1, what the hell? 2, you've just put Aleister Black back on TV.
Yeah.
3, Lana wasn't doing much. I get it. Okay, I get it. She was running out of time, but how do I put it? Lana was still good, Lana was actually really good in, say, where was it? She's improved. Okay, that's my biggest takeaway from Lana. She's improved a hell of a lot much from when she first started to now. Yes, you can put them back. You probably put her back with Miro on AEW. I don't think he needs it, because Miro's promos have gotten so bloody good since he left WWE. He's been a beast in AEW. That match of Double or Nothing was awesome. But back to Lana. Lana could flesh out the women's division in AEW. She's a big name. Yes, she can sort of not talk sometimes. She does botch it a few times. Go back to the Russian accent if you want to. But she was good at what she could do. It was very limited, but she was very good at it. Braun Strowman is one of my surprising ones. I hope he goes and kills it somewhere else. He would be great as a monster heel in New Japan or Impact or even AEW. I know some people are like, oh, AEW confirmed and everything like that, but there's always that joke of like AEW confirmed and everything like that. But this is the other thing as well. Braun Strowman was scouted by Mark Henry. So Mark Henry is going to be on that phone with him like a shot to get him in AEW. I reckon as soon as his 90 days is up, he is straight on the phone with Mark Henry. Can you get me a job? Yes, it may not happen, okay? But he's got other options. He could kill it in New Japan. I personally think he could kill it in New Japan because he is a big guy that can move. The other one I think could go to New Japan is Buddy Murphy. He would be great in the juniors division. Junior heavyweight. Put him maybe in the next division in Impact, maybe in AEW fighting for the TNT title, or put him, or because Wesley Blake's been released, put them back together, reunite Blake and Murphy. I'm pretty sure, or do something. He can do something now because all he wants to do is wrestle. All that guy wants to do is wrestle. And WWE were not giving him that. Santara Garrett, okay, she's one that I'm very unfamiliar with. I'm pretty sure I saw one of her matches in the Mae Young Classic. She was great, fine, she was great. I didn't really know her. She was a relatively unknown. She was great in there. She can go and kill it somewhere else. All of these people have so much upside. I was just initially annoyed as hell at these because they're always saying it's to do with budget cuts. It's not to do with budget cuts at all. My theory is Nick Khan is looking to sell the company. It's not WWE, it's not Vince, it's not Triple H, it's not Stephanie, it's not Shane, it's not Bruce Pritchard, it's not Kevin Dunn or anything like that. I think it's Nick Khan putting his foot down of like, we need to get rid of these people because with someone looking from the outside, they're thinking we don't want to be picking up these people's contracts because Braun Strowman was like on $1 million a year or something like that.
Yeah, he was on $1 million a year contract. He was on probably maybe within the top 5 biggest contracts for a full-time wrestler. Remember?
Yeah.
Yes, you have Cena and Lesnar, who's probably
Cena's
Cena's
a different. I feel like Cena's a different story.
Stories.
Because I feel like Cena doesn't. I think Cena gets paid on a
per appearance contract.
Yeah, per appearance because he's making money from films.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on this, Dylan?
Okay, so I'm gonna side by. So I'm gonna have to agree with you with the whole Nick Khan thing because it does seem like they're planning to sell part of the company, at least like maybe production rights, media rights, something. It's either Fox or Disney or NBC. Something is gonna be sold.
Yeah,
because this idea of budget cuts, I don't believe it. This last year was one of their best years. Let's be honest here. And this whole, we need budget cuts this, budget cuts that. I mean, if they want to say that, they're looking at their roster and they're just trimming it out, that's a different story. You know what I mean? You could trim out unnecessaries from your company.
Yeah.
But to blame it on budget cuts, it doesn't work that way. And
okay,
I was gonna circle back to Braun Strowman. I'm sorry, one second.
Yeah, go on.
I was gonna circle back to Braun Strowman. He can also go back if he doesn't want to do sports and entertainment anymore. He can also go back to strongman competitions.
Yeah,
that's also an option for him as well. It's always there for him. You know what I mean?
Okay, so go.
Go on,
carry on.
Go.
No, carry on,
No.
mate. So going back to the theory of saying Nick Khan is probably going to look to sell the company. Where do you two think it's going to go?
Realistically, it's going to be to one of these big American streaming companies. It's going to end up with like NBC, Universal, Disney. Disney's probably the one that's got the money to buy WWE fully, and then eventually you might get the WWE network combining onto Disney Plus.
Yeah,
you never know. You never know. That would be not a bad idea, but
it wouldn't be a bad idea at all.
But then, how long is it going to be before you see like something Disney related on WWE program? It's understandable for like the Disney side where you could have, I don't know, say The Miz, for example, appear in a Disney movie. But
you can see it.
I don't know.
What's your take? I like I said, Dylan, I think it's either going to be Fox or Disney. Are you
or
in agreement with
NBC
that?
Universal. Yeah, also completely. Or NBC Universal. Honestly, them selling to the WWE network could just be like, like a bridge barrier for them to start having more conversations with NBC Universal. I'm just not a big fan. If they do sell to Disney or Fox, it's not a bad idea. You know what I mean?
No.
Because guess what? That takes a lot of pressure off of Vince and the entire McMahon family, because God knows they've been going through. That's a lot of pressure if you think about it. They have to make.
Yeah.
They have to go through like what? That's almost like 10 hours of wrestling a week.
So
That's a
it's-
lot. No, sorry, 7. Sorry. Correct.
Well, including half
So-
an hour, 2 or 5. Well, so no, it's 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of NXT, 2 hours,
2 hours of Smack.
2 hours of SmackDown.
SmackDown.
So that's 7 hours. Then an hour of
You've got main
NXT UK, hour of NXT UK, half an hour of 205 Live, and main
An hour.
event, which lasted an hour. So you are looking at roughly about 9.5 to 10 hours of wrestling on weekly.
And that doesn't even include pay-per-views.
And that doesn't even include pay-per-views, because a pay-per-view at the minute lasts, say, 2
hours,
2.5 to 3 hours now, which is great on me, because
Yeah.
I can then sleep afterwards. But let's not get started with Double or Nothing, because I didn't actually sleep after Double or Nothing. I went from 9 a.m. Sunday morning to 4 p.m. Monday. 0 sleep, because
It's a
I
lot
was
of
up
wrestling.
watching Double or Nothing on Sunday night. But again, go on, Dylan, please.
Oh, yeah. My problem is everybody complains. Everybody boasts about how there's so much wrestling now. You know what I mean? Oh, great! Whatever kind of wrestling you want to watch, you can watch, right?
Yeah.
But then you remember, what if you like all of that? There's so much. It's over 15 hours of wrestling. New Japan, AEW, Impact. That's a lot of goddamn wrestling.
So if you work it, I'm pretty sure Callum's done it before. He's worked it out how many people, I'm pretty sure it's about, so it's 3 hours of Raw, obviously, 2 hours of NXT, an hour of main event. An
Half
hour
an
of
hour
main
to a
event.
5.
Yeah, half an hour to a 5, and then you've got AEW that do 2 hours to possibly hour and a half to 2 hours of Elevation, Dark, then 2 hours of Dynamite, and then they're going to get Rampage now as well, which is going to air after SmackDown. So it's not going to air at the same time as SmackDown, which is a smart decision, because the ratings for that will plummet if it's going to be on with Raw. Not Raw, SmackDown. So putting it on afterwards is a great move.
But you also have to remember, let's say for you guys are in the UK, you guys get wrestling, let's say about like what time?
So
Watch
Raw,
live. It's usually Raw starts at like 1 a.m.
1 a.m.
and it
and
finishes
then
like
it
at
finishes
4.
at 4.
But then because the deal with BT, they will show it the day later at like 8, 9 p.m. So it's a little bit more realistic for UK fans.
It's a little bit more palatable then.
But you guys are going to already know all the information that you need to know about.
Yeah.
We're already we already pretty know the results, but it doesn't.
So I don't watch Raw in its entirety. I haven't done for years. I only watch the highlights. If it's a good Raw, I will then go back on the network in a month's time and watch it. So that's my take on it. So back to obviously our actual topic. Callum, where do you think all 6 of these release stars are going to go?
I'm going to jump back in. I have to go do something real quick. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Well, if we see, right, well, let's start with the women because it's a little bit easier to understand. It's a little bit easier. With Ruby Riott, I can see she might go to AEW to build up the women's division a little bit, just like because Ruby was a slightly big name on the Indies before she went to NXT. So
Wasn't she part of Shimmer?
She was Shimmer World Champion.
That was it. I knew
She was
she
Shimmer World
was
Champion.
part
She
of
was Shimmer World Champion for a while.
I can see her go back there.
Maybe if they do a deal with AEW, maybe she might go.
Yeah,
she might go all elite. She might go all elite just to build up the women's division there. Well, they've supposedly AEW supposedly released Awesome Kong and
Shayna.
Shayna. So
Shayna.
You might want to start.
It's not Shayna, it's Shayna.
Shayna. They might want to start rebuilding their division there. Santana Garrett, she would be a perfect fit to like maybe Ring of Honor or Impact. Because that's just that sort of level of superstar.
Yeah.
Lana, yes, we've said she may go all elite because she has that link with Miro, but I can see Lana going out of the industry altogether. She might go and do some sort of business adventure. I don't like. Heck, Lana was in films and music before she joined WWE. She might go back into that. She might do some sort of. She might go into business, some sort of business. For Buddy, they've got if they're 90-day if they've got a 90-day policy on their contract, it means it finishes September 1st. The next big pay-per-view after that is All Out. So he could appear in AEW. So roughly around the same time, I believe it's the start of the Best of the Super Juniors, because that's supposed to be starting roughly around the end of the Olympics. If it goes ahead due to the whole COVID thing over in Japan, I would love to see Buddy actually return to wrestle in Australia. If he ended up going to wrestle in Melbourne City Wrestling, where he made his name in starts feuding with Slex and what's the other one?
I don't know. You're the one that did the. You're the one that did.
I'm the one that did the World Cup. I should know. It's
right. Okay. So Braun Strowman, where do you think he's going to go?
Braun's an interesting one because he could go all elite, but then
that's the point.
It'd be a similar character to Lance Archer, which is a big man. He could go New Japan. Because when I saw Braun, this was the idea started going through my head. Could he go to New Japan and be the next Bruiser Brody?
Could be. So
that would be good. That would be good though.
So do you want to know? Do you want to know where I go on?
But then Braun could also go Hollywood.
Yeah, he has been in a film.
He's been in one film, and then I believe he was on an Indian game show as well. But I think that was just to build up the WWE India relationship.
Yeah. So okay, my theories are Santana Garrett can go to Impact or ROH or AEW. She's got or she can go back to the Indies. You never know. Buddy Murphy, either New Japan in their juniors division or Impact in their X division, possibly one or two matches in AEW, possibly against Darby Allin or Rey Fenix. I'd love to see those matches. Or Pac, because we never got Buddy versus Neville. We've never got Buddy versus Neville.
I believe we didn't, but I can always check.
Yeah. We'll check after this recording.
Yeah.
Lana, she can either go to like you said, I think she could probably go back to Hollywood. She could go back to doing dancing, or if she really wants to still wrestle, she can go to Impact Impact or have a little stint in AEW. Not with separate him. I've come around to the idea of they shouldn't be together. Miro and Lana should not be put together, or CJ Perry, which is her actual name. I don't think they should be put together, because Miro's turned into a beast, and you don't want to go down the WWE booking of putting him with a manager, because Miro can talk a good promo. He's been one of my favorite promos over the last month, and he's been awesome. But back to who else was released? Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott can either go to, I would say, I would like to see her in Impact again, flesh out that women's division is so awesome. You know how much I used to hate Impact.
Yeah, you've kind of got, you used to be an Impact. You used to be very much kind of a Connecticut and a WWE biased fan.
Yeah, I used to be a WWE biased.
You're starting to get a little bit of spice in your life, shall we say?
I'm starting to warm up to. I am starting to warm up to Impact. I don't watch it daily anymore, but well, weekly, should I say? But I am interested in Impact now. She could go, like I said, Ruby Riott could go there. That women's division's awesome, but having another body in there doesn't hurt the company. Having a new body like Ruby Riott coming off a WWE release where she wasn't given anything to do, she could be freaking awesome, right? She could do anything she puts her bloody mind to. Right, Braun Strowman. I agree with you. He could eat it up in New Japan, big time. He could be awesome in New Japan. Put him against Okada, put him against Ospreay, put him against Ishii, put him against Kota Ibushi, put him against the junior division if you want to. Have him do the wrestling that he is good at, which is big men that can move. It was his movement is so quick for a guy his size. He's about 300 odd pounds, 6'8". And
yeah, 6'8", 385.
He can move. He's nearly 400 freaking pounds. He can move. He can move a lot quicker than someone like me or you. For someone his size, though, that's what I'm trying to get at. Is like, if you compare it, he is quick as hell. Like they try and put this spin on Omos of like he's quick as hell, but he's not. He's slow as hell. He's like really slow. But Aleister Black, 100% put him in AEW. Or hear me out. I was going to say ICW, but ICW is a WWE owned company now. So I can't say that. Put him in NWA.
Ooh, that is a shot and a half.
Put him in somewhere that is old school wrestling, right? And he can come in and be this dark, new wrestler character. You know, he can be like, I am the modern wrestling. He can go in there and go, I am the modern one. I am Tommy End. Right? He could. His look is so unique as well. Tommy End or Aleister Black, whatever you want to call him, his look is awesome. And I never okay, I'm gonna admit something. I never watched him in ICW or PWG or anywhere. But as soon as I saw him debut in NXT, I gravitated towards him. And I felt bad when he was getting these shitty, should really not swear, but again, shitty storylines where he's losing an eye to Seth Rollins. Okay, this was the other thing as well. I think they should have given the tag titles to him and Ricochet. yes, they were an unorthodox team, but they were put together for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. They won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and then they did nothing with him. Did nothing with the both of them on the main roster.
Yeah,
right?
true.
They could have put the tag titles on them. They could have had about a month run and probably lose it back to the Usos or something like that. That's my take on it. But again, that's how I feel about it. Tommy End could be in AEW, he could be in ROH, he could be in Impact, he could go back, he could go to New Japan, he could go to Noah, he could go to All Japan. He can go anywhere he wants. Right? He can go to AAA, he can go to anywhere.
Wouldn't be a bad shout either.
He could go to anywhere he wants to go because people are going to be clamoring for that man. People are going to be busting their ass to get him in their promotion. I wouldn't be surprised after a 90-day contact, he's picking up his phone left, right, and center. Like, oh, can you come and do a match with him? Done. Can you come and do a match with him? Done. Can you come and do a match with Kenny Omega? You're not going to win, but can you come and do a match with Kenny Omega? Done. Right?
God, Omega versus Black. Holy shit. That's
okay.
Both with similar weights and both wrestle a similar style.
He's going to be turning down offers left, right, and center because he has got so much upside to him. WWE have made a huge mistake releasing him.
And just remember, Black might not even have to stay in wrestling. He's got an MMA, but he's got a kickboxing
exactly.
MMA background.
Exactly.
He could pick him up.
Exactly. He could go to UFC. He can go to freaking Bellator. He can go to Pride's not around anymore, but he can go to. Is it Rise?
Pride.
I don't.
Pride.
No, Pride's not around anymore. But he can go to Bellator. He can go to UFC. He can go to freaking. He can go and kill it in the Indies. He can go to PWG. Is not around anymore, but he can go.
No, PWG is still around. It's just cancelled because of the pandemic.
Yeah, but he can go.
He could even go do Bloodsport.
Exactly. Go do Bloodsport against freaking Daniel. British Bulldog Jr. Go do that.
Davey Boy would be a good match.
Go do that.
He could even go to MLW.
There are so many. I know we're focusing on too much on Aleister Black here, but Aleister Black has got the most upside to anyone out of these releases. No offense to anyone else, but he has got the most upside because people are going to be clamoring to see what he can do on the main. Do anywhere he goes to. Like I said, New Japan, All Japan, freaking AEW, NWA, Impact. He can go anywhere he puts his mind to, right? He can go to, like you said, he can go do MMA. He's got an MMA background. I mean, he has to have an MMA background to hit that freaking black mass. Right? He could be ending people left, right, and center. He can go to UFC. He can go to Bellator. He could go have professional fights. He's not CM Punk. Because if we're going to draw comparisons, he is not CM Punk where he goes in and loses 2 matches, right? That's what I'm saying. But again, Dylan, I'm sorry, I know you're not here or anything like that, but I am going to end the video here, guys. Thank you so much for watching us rant and rave about this releases. If there is any more to come, I will keep you updated. Trent is coming along a bit later with his own video about these releases, but I thought I would do one with a group of guys here just to get everyone's thoughts on him. But again, thank you guys for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and even comment down below give your theories on where people are going to go. So again, that has been Callum Bruce. I have been Tyler Mumbles Woodward, the Maggle champion, not Last Man Standing Universal Heavyweight Champion, because I lost it. But there you go. That's a thing for another story, another video. Thank you so much, guys, and we shall see you on the next one.